this? What's the merit of doing this?
The merit of doing it is that you are trying to salvage the damage that has been done so far so that it doesn't continue. You're trying to get into this group. And if you have that strategy plan mapped out very well, you will get to know who and who is involved. Look, let's come down to the local basic. Those who kidnap in Nigeria, they ask for ransom. The ransom is given. Your victim is released. And in the long run, if the police does their job very well, they always get to the root of these people. Excuse me. You use it in tracking down. That's it. You cannot just go on an open field.
Okay, so supposedly you didn't defeat a terrorist group on the field of battle. You could not track them by way of intelligence. You could not figure out where they are. You could not figure out how long and where they've been keeping the ladies or whoever that is in their captivity.
Right.
And suddenly there's a negotiation going on, or that can go on, or that is being brokered, and they come up and put to you a bargaining chip, which could be to the effect of, I'm going to release these girls, but you release so commander, commander, or commander, or you do this, you do that, you do this. Negotiations, for me, would mean that you have agreed to terms, certain terms, by the terrorists. That's what the government is going to do if you
come out even demanding for such negotiations. In most cases, they have themselves been weakened. Now, don't look at negotiation.
The weekend, you said? Remember that this negotiation was brokered in Switzerland.
Right.
So these guys have got so much strength in networking that they have to do this negotiation in Switzerland?
No,
or how does it work?
They want guarantee of security. They also want a safe area. Let me tell you, see, what happens is when the negotiation is on, that group, most cases, has already been detonated or weakened. And this negotiation, in most cases, is also used to further intelligence gathering. A lot cannot be said on media or pages of newspapers.
Is that possible? If I hear you very well, you're saying that government's got its back against the wall.
Not got its back against the wall. Government is going on. I suggest that they go on with negotiating.
No, because if you get to this point where you now have to come to, it's like everybody throw your last joker.
No,
so the government's got its back against the wall.
No, would you remember that at the time the negotiation was going on, that was the time they also alleged that their leader had been killed, that the Air Force had been
resurfacing.
Obviously, they have tracks that they can play. Bin Laden did that severally. It's something you need. It's a diplomatic approach. Negotiation is a diplomatic approach to counter terrorism. It's not everything. You want to curb the violence in the land. Do you want them to keep on blowing up or kidnapping here and there? You need to sometimes you play the fool you are not to get ahead of your enemy.
Okay, so you ask yourself, I mean, how did we even get to this place get to this point in the first place? Because you're talking about having to track your enemies. How did it become, or how did it get to the point where it became a serious monster that developed into perhaps an international group with international affiliates to the point where they know what they are doing, they have tracks of what they want to do, they have programs, they have units. I'm sure that the guys who even negotiate are not even the guys who are on the field. So, bottom line, the federal government may have to negotiate with terrorists who have maimed, who have killed, who have taken territories in Nigeria, and who have disunited a lot of families for the release of 83 girls. Does it make sense to you?
Painfully, they have done that. But would we want 83 to expand to 1,083 or 83,000? Would we want that? The federal government, only 2 citizens were involved in Al-Qaeda in the U.S., I think during Bush regime or so, and it was resolved. They negotiated for the release of these hostages. With the government, a responsible government must be concerned about the welfare and the security of its citizens anywhere in the world.
Why did we have to get into this place in the first?
Unfortunately, it happened at that time.
What time is this?
The last regime. Going about the errors or faults of the last regime is not right.
Government is a continuum, my dear.
It is, and that's why we're looking at the solution. If not, we keep on picking holes here and there.
Don't
forget that in solving this issue, rather than negotiating, I think it was this issue too that led to loads of dollars of money being transported by air.
All right. Adetokunbo, can you just hold on? We have a guest on the phone, Major General Lucky Irabor. He's the theater commander for Operations Lafia. Can you hear us, sir? General, can you hear us? Okay, we lost him there. We'll try and re-establish that and get back.
The major problem in Nigerian security is lack of intelligence gathering. And the moment...
Is that my problem?
It's a government problem which the president needs to even look into. The moment we are able to gather intelligence information gathering, then we will nip a lot of this crisis in the bud. And how do you do that? Globally, worldwide, people have been campaigning for what is called community policing. I don't need to play politics by saying, oh, if I create a state police, this will happen, that will happen. No, they could just be for information gathering, intelligence gathering. Sometimes I drive towards the axis of Lekki. There are some areas in Lekki that I imagine you can stay there for weeks and months and nobody knows you are existing there. Go to Ogombo. Go inside the Ibejuleki axis.
That's someone's responsibility in terms of security. Or do we only take praises when it has to be with media?
Starts from the top. Security in Nigeria is top to bottom rather than bottom to top. The commissioner of a state, of the police in the state of Nigeria, is answerable to the president. The governor in the state in Nigeria is just the chief security officer in name. Until we go back to the constitution, federalism, we're having
in discussing security, which is part of what has led us to where we are today. Do you think we have the challenge of interagency squabble? Because it is today the DSS, tomorrow it's the military, next tomorrow it's another security outfit. Don't you think this conflict, rather than a confluence, is the reason why we are having all of these places to loop, some of these loopholes?
It's because it's coming from top to bottom. You need bottom to top. I was telling some people, we had a meeting when the Lagos State House of Assembly were trying to review the neighborhood watch. And I said, go from ward to zone, from zone to local government, from local government to senatorial district. And you get the people sending information. It's not only about the armed robber going on the street. Every strange development, every traffic offense, every issue that needs to be monitored. That's it. We lack it in Nigeria.
A lot of people are worried that these negotiations, for instance, that has happened, whatever it has happened, how did we come to the negotiating table and yet not take advantage of whoever that was speaking on the behalf of these devilish people, I should say?
In negotiation, there's always the fear, lack of trust. I'm afraid of you, you're afraid of me. You need to build.
Yeah, so why are we
gradually.
That's what I'm saying. Why are we not taking advantage? I'd like you to round up on this. Why are we not taking advantage of that negotiations that has happened for the release of the 21 or 21, I should say, girls?
Right.
You find out what's
That's why another 83 is coming up. And gradually, by the grace of God, they will all be released. How did we negotiate with the Niger Delta bombers in those days? It was negotiation too.
So negotiation is the way to go.
It's the way to solve such impediment.
All right, Mr. Adetokunbo Adotola, I want to thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Viewers, it's an abridged version of Face Off tonight, and we've been discussing Chibok girls. I'm glad you could join us. Join us again next week for another episode of Face Off. Bye for now.